Hey everybody, I'm Tyler Sweeney and welcome to The Proof is in the Podcast. The podcast whose name was so obvious to us that it took us 3 weeks to figure it out. I'm here today with my good friend Tobias.
Hi.
He's also my brother, but he's also a good friend. So it isn't weird that I called him my good friend.
Not really.
No, that's his little eyebrow raise kind of made me worried there for a second, then I thought it through. I'm also here with our good friend Nick.
Actually, I have a friend. Not related to us.
Nope.
Yeah. Not related. That's why he's so quiet.
Yep.
So, The Proof is in the Podcast tackles a wide variety of topics. In our first episode, we talked about gaming of different varieties. And today, our topic is movies. And we've all brought a variety of topics to discuss. And my topic for today is directors who have a stable of actors that they use frequently. Hashtag Nolan, hashtag Wes Anderson,
and
why can't
the
I
Coen
think of
brothers.
The Coen brothers,
definitely.
and I can't think of his name. The guy who did American Hustle and Silver
Linings
Playbook.
Oh yeah. But
He said but
yeah.
I think he's establishing a stable.
Yeah, he's working.
Yeah, because he's only had those two movies, but they both had Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence in them.
Any Tim Burton film
Oh,
from
Right.
the
It's more
90s
like-
onward.
It's not less of a stable and more of just Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, so those are so that's my topic. I'm not going to talk too much about it at first. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, and then I'll chime in.
Yeah, I think that if anything, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think because it can, as someone who has acted before, I mean, I was just in high school, not in any major Hollywood films or anything, but I think it helps us by having a director work with the same actors multiple times. It helps establish a really profound connection between the actor and the director that can help both of them achieve their goals in more in a more efficient way. It helps just foster a sense of creativity and a craft to it.
Sure.
I think that it's very obvious with Christopher Nolan. I think the way he's used Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Christian Bale over and over again.
And
Michael Caine.
Oh yeah, Michael Caine. Michael Caine.
Caine.
He's just in all of them, which is just bananas. But yeah, I think it's great.
all of his post-Memento stuff, right?
Yeah, post-Memento. Yeah, I think so. But I think I definitely think it's cool.
Memento though.
Yeah.
From Memento.
No, I think that it helps. It can also help create a family unit. I'm sure that Christopher Nolan and Michael Caine are best friends now, probably, and I know that partially because of The Dark Knight Rises, Anne Hathaway and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are super tight, and they do stuff for each other's they do stuff on Hit Record and that kind of thing together. They're just friends now.
They should have a two-man. I don't know what you call it, a two-man show, on Broadway.
Yeah, they're working on a thing right now about superheroes.
Are they?
Yeah, it's called Sidekick or something like that.
Oh my God! Why isn't Anne Hathaway retro girl on Powers?
Oh man, that would be dope.
Oh my God! Just hashtag it right now. Anne Hathaway is Elastigirl for a live-action Incredibles movie that we all know we want. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Aaron Eckhart, Mr. Incredible. Anne Hathaway is Elastigirl.
Oh man.
Joffrey is the little speedy kid.
A little
And then April Ludgate as the teenage daughter.
Oh,
Just make this happen. Make this movie happen.
Yes. Get
And
the funding.
oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
you could bring T.J. Miller back to play Sinestro, or not Sinestro. Oh my God, that's so weird. Syndrome.
Yeah.
Bring T.J. Miller. He did the voice of Syndrome.
Right.
Was it? Oh no, that wasn't T.J. Miller.
I don't know.
That was Jason Lee. That was My Name Is Earl guy.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Huh. That makes
I just
sense.
realized how much their voices sound alike in my head. But anyway, T.J. Miller as Syndrome. Yeah.
Alright.
Or Jonah Hill, whichever one's not busy. But yeah.
No.
So I just made this movie for you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be Frozone though?
Huh?
Frozone.
Oh snap! Michael B. Jordan.
Oh man. Where is my super suit?
Oh, he might be too young. We need somebody that's more like Aaron Eckhart's age.
Tay Diggs.
Tay Diggs.
Well, you probably just have Samuel L. Jackson. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
come
keep
on.
him.
Right, keep him.
The CGI by then has gotten pretty good. We can just make him look a bit younger.
Yeah.
But he's
Well, he's
pretty young
67.
anyway.
He still plays.
Yeah.
He's 67.
Yeah, he's playing Nick
Played
Fury
Nick
and like
Fury
running
and
around
still
like a
looks really
badass.
badass.
Yeah, Denzel's 60.
Yeah.
He's 67, and Pharrell is like 40 something. I was like,
How?
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 Defying space
Naomi
and time.
Campbell's like that too. Like she's like she. I think she plays like a whole 10 years younger and stuff that she's in, and she still models, like gets consistent modeling contracts and stuff. But yeah, okay, so
Fosters a relationship, builds a family.
Anne Hathaway and Christopher Nolan. Yeah.
Make it creates, a community, a family. I think that's nice.
Yeah,
I think it's especially true. I think of Joseph Gordon-Levitt because he came from, one of his like major works was Third Rock from the Sun, and so there's that community feeling you get from a television series,
right?
Like where you're working with the same people for years at a time, rather than like you spend a couple months together making a movie. It's you spend a couple years together making several seasons of television.
We also kept in touch with Tony Danza.
Yes.
From Angels in the Outfield.
From Angels in the Outfield all the way to Don John.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. I love that song.
That song's amazing.
You might even say
it's
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of my spiel about it.
Yeah,
I
what
think
about
it's a
you?
good thing.
What about you, Nick?
I'll play the opposing argument. It can, the whole having just like typical casting choices and just having like I'm not definitely have these 4 people. It can sort of like you can form a family, but it can also form like a clique. Like this is like the group of actors like I'm gonna have in my movie, and it might shut out like potential other roles.
Right.
And it might have a danger of like typecasting certain characters. Like okay, I'm gonna have this actress and this actor to play this type of character because I know they can.
Right. You might go
very
back to the
well.
same characters.
Yeah. Like okay, you're really good at playing this character, so I'm gonna have you in this. So there's just that whole, I guess, pitfall of just always staying safe with just.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could almost make that argument with Michael Caine, where like
I mean,
his roles in all, he plays the same
stoic
figure in all of the Christopher Nolan. He's like the older guardian mentor guy.
Yeah.
And,
You know?
Yeah. Well, I could sort of see that. For me, though, the interesting thing about Christopher Nolan, anyway, in this instance, is that the person that has consistently changed is the leading man, which is typically
not in The Prestige. What kind of?
well,
yeah.
Well, I mean, because the leading man is kind of the role that's easiest to let me get my. Like, with Liam Neeson's a good example of this. Like, in Taken 10 that's coming out. or whatever the actual name of the movie is.
Taken 3?
No.
All
the other movies that are exactly like
Taken,
actually, Run All Night with Ed
Harris is a badass.
Yeah.
I'm pumped about that
Yeah,
movie.
I'm going to see it. And now, interestingly enough, the guy who's in that movie, he played RoboCop in the RoboCop remake. He plays Liam Neeson's son in Run All Night, and he's going to be Rick Flag in Suicide Squad.
So, you brought up the Suicide Squad anyway.
I did. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm obsessed with the Suicide Squad movie that is happening. It's going to be fantastic. I'm super pumped for it. I don't have any, investment in DC Comics, as you can see there. But yeah, so I mean, but if you look at that, Liam Neeson, we know Liam Neeson's gonna turn in this gangbusters performance. We can put him as a conflicted, paternal, kick-ass action hero, and he's gonna.
It's actually kind of funny because in Batman he's the villain.
Yeah.
And he's different. Yeah.
He lived long enough to see himself become the hero.
Or whatever.
It's a reversal.
Oh right,
Yeah. Anyway, but the thing about it is that you have that the leading man is easy enough to swap out. To not swap out. That when you had Christopher Nolan, who was keeping the same supporting cast, and he's putting these different guys in there. You have Guy Pearce, you have Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, and then
keep Christian Bale for 3, but
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
Matthew
but
McConaughey.
yeah, no, that's what I'm gonna say. Then Matthew McConaughey, and the thing about Matthew McConaughey, they
Or Leo.
Oh, and Leo, and then Matthew McConaughey, is that, but Dallas Buyers Club and True Detective weren't out
No.
when he started production on Interstellar.
Oh.
If you think about it,
Wow.
just because I remember watching the Oscars for where he was up for those things
Yeah.
and seeing a trailer for Interstellar or something like that, and I was just
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. So Christopher Nolan knew before all of us that Matthew McConaughey
was gonna blow
was back. The reconnaissance, they call it.
That's honestly.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Or reconnaissance, like Renaissance, but reconnaissance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Why do they call it a Renaissance though? Like I thought he just like stopped being a romantic comedy guy and started being awesome at everything he does.
Oh, I mean, he did some other stuff that wasn't romantic comedy stuff.
I guess that was not as familiar.
He did like the Lincoln Lawyer was like a pretty good performance from him, and people really liked him in We Are Marshall, that movie.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, about the college
Yeah.
sports and all that.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, so like that's like, I know that's not exactly related to my topic, but it just blew my mind that I was like, I thought about it for a second. I was like, Christopher Nolan knew something that we all know now,
Yeah.
but way before we did, and I was just
That's
like, that dude is wise. That dude is so wise. My favorite thing, I read this interview in GQ with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, yeah.
I love this quote.
Did
It's
we
so
talk
funny.
about this last podcast?
No, we
Really?
talked about it around that table, but I don't think we talked about it.
Maybe. I'll go back and check it.
Yeah, if we put this in the podcast before, feel free to make fun of me. But
Or I could edit it
out.
Maybe.
Now I have this very drastic, like severe memory of James Nolan's voice going Matthew McConaughey. I can hear his voice like saying Matthew McConaughey, and I feel like a douche now for telling the story.
Love to do it.
But I'm gonna tell the story. They were interviewing Matthew McConaughey for GQ, and they were like asking him about, finally like stop doing like the romantic comedy male lead that's kind of dim-witted and like, all that stuff, generic and dim-witted and stuff like that. And he was like, do you see like Magic Mike as you like having a funeral for that character, of like putting that character to rest? He goes, no, that was me taking it to the Smithsonian and getting it bronzed. And I was like, "That you are a badass." I was like, "That is perfect."
God.
I was like, "That is absolutely perfect," because it's like the most. It is like the concentrated essence of like every stupid role he ever did. He just boiled it down into this brilliant, concise, singular performance, and I took it to the Smithsonian and got it bronzed, and I was like, "Hey, man."
I want to take everything to the Smithsonian and get it bronzed. Well, not everything, but I want to take something to the Smithsonian and get it
Yeah,
bronzed now.
that's like
It just sounds like a great time.
add that to the bucket list.
Yeah.
I have to do something worthy of being bronzed and thrown up in the Smithsonian. But yeah, so
It should be like Warehouse 13. The bronzer there.
Yeah.
Also,
Eddie
Eddie
McClintock.
McClintock in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Love that.
Also, find a role for Eddie McClintock in the live-action Incredible movies. I don't know. Maybe he'll be one of the mole men or something. Make it happen. I don't care who he is.
Yeah. Eddie McClintock's my boy. I really hope he shows up more in the MCU.
Yeah. Eddie McClintock.
Tangent.
Yeah.
Alright. Is there anything else you want to say on this topic?
Oh, I was gonna say something. There was somebody. Oh, Wes Anderson. I think.
Oh, yeah. We haven't talked about Wes Anderson and the Coen Brothers yet.
Yeah, really. If you talk about the other people's rotating.
Mm-hmm.
Cast of characters. It was really interesting. I read this interview with John Goodman where he's talking about the Coen Brothers, and he was like, "Sometimes I get upset when I hear about new Coen Brother movies that I'm not in."
Oh,
yeah. He's like, why didn't they call me? yeah. I just thought that was really funny. Because
Yeah.
he's
John
close.
Goodman, though.
Yeah, he's close enough with all of it. He's close enough with them that like he can like talk to them
Yeah.
about it and stuff like that, and they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, we didn't really have have something for you this time." And I also saw a really funny interview with George Clooney where he was talking about the Coen Brothers, and he was like, he's like, yeah, they just write the stupidest roles for me. he says I love them for it because like in like every other movie, like I'm the Hollywood leading man, like that you can count on to be smart and heroic and good looking and everything. And then he goes, like in all the Coen Brother movies, I just get to play a complete idiot, like just a complete idiot. It's like like leading a band of fugitives like. Through through the South and
the whole western state of Mississippi
and like misleading them in a lot of ways and just like
he's
just
like
a bumbling fool.
Odysseus, but not as smart.
And then I think
which is kind of sad because Odysseus makes a lot.
Intolerable. He was amazing in Intolerable Cruelty.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I remember I watched that on Netflix on a whim because I was like, oh, it's got George Clooney, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and it's probably sexy and fun. And then I was like, I watched the opening credits. I'm like, this is a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was on board. It's so good.
Yeah. I remember when I found out it was a Coen Brothers movie. It was before I had seen it. I was like, oh, that always looked good. And then I found out it was the Coen Brothers movie, and I was like, I really need to see this. And then I was like, it wasn't on Netflix yet, and I like waited, and then finally one day it was finally on Netflix, and I was like, yes! And I watched it like immediately. And it's down off Netflix again, but I think. But it's super fun. And then
Burn After Reading.
Burn After Reading is probably my favorite George Clooney role in the Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah.
There's like for some reason that scene. Well, I mean, first of all, there's so many things like the sex pillow thing and the sex chair thing.
Yeah.
Like those, just the way he handles those things. I love the fact that he was wearing that stupid little gold chain all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's cool he brought Brad Pitt on that.
Yeah.
Because he brought Brad Pitt into the fold of...
Into the Coen Brothers fold. And Brad Pitt's amazing.
Yeah.
But my favorite...
he does like the dance.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That movie is ridiculous.
But I think my favorite part that George Clooney has in that movie is when he like eats the little appetizer at the party. He's like... Or he's like, I got a lactose reflux thing.
Yeah.
And then... and then John Malkovich is so annoying. He's like, are you lactose intolerant or do you have acid reflux? They're two different conditions. And I was just like, oh my God. That whole thing, and the way George Clooney just wholeheartedly committed to it. It was just freaking amazing. Yeah, I love that. So that was, I feel like their stable's a little bit bigger than Christopher Nolan's as far as people because they have, they've done multiple things with Jeff Bridges, multiple things with John Goodman, multiple things with George Clooney,
Steve Buscemi, the guy who plays Jesus.
The big mouse
And then
Francis McDermott, who was in Fargo and in Burn After Reading. Yeah. So their cast is a little bit bigger, and they can. I think it has a little more variety because
and they don't always put all of them in the same movie.
Oh, and J.K. Simmons too.
Oh yeah,
J.K. Simmons in The Lady Killers. Oh my God.
Oh, I always forget The Lady Killers is one of those.
Yeah, that's theirs. Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen Lady Killers?
No. It's weird.
Dude, Hank and Hank's dad hadn't seen Lady Killers.
Hank, that's probably the most Hank movie I've ever heard of.
Oh, no, maybe Hank had seen it, but his dad hadn't. But I was just like, The Lady Killers, man, that movie's amazing. And then J.K. Simmons is so good in it. And then
I haven't seen it since I was in the 7th grade. Oh, we watched it with Julie and Bellamy.
I have it in my DVD collection. Yeah. Oh yeah. That was weird.
I was 13.
I watched that movie.
God, that was 10 years ago. Oh my God.
Yeah, we're old. I've seen Lady Killers with the commentary on more than once. Because there was a weird phase in my life where I was just obsessed with watching movies
with commentary.
With the commentary on, and and also we're just obsessed with watching movies. And I got a DVD player in my bedroom for the first time, and I was just getting tons of DVDs, just all sorts of weird stuff. And then I'd watch it, and I'd be like, well, it'll probably be another week or so before I can buy another movie from the $6 DVD bin at Hannaford, previously owned rentals or whatever. So I'm just gonna watch something with the commentary on. And so I watched every movie I watched for that whole year that it was probably my senior year of high school. Every movie I watched that year, I watched
with the commentary
again with the commentary on. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, and but there was some interesting stuff about that. And
I've seen I Love You Man with the commentary. That's
yeah. Did you? Did you watch Forgiving Sarah Marshall with a commentary on?
I think I have it.
Oh, it's really.
It was really sober.
Huh?
Do they have Jason Segel? Do they have?
I think they have Jason
Kristen
Segel
Dunst?
and
Kristen Bell. Sorry.
I think I'm trying to remember if it's. I think it's Jason Segel and Kristen Bell, and then at one point they try to call Russell Brand like on their cell phone, like while they're recording it. It's so funny.
That's awesome.
And I think the director's in there as well.
Bro, we should do like a double feature where we watch Forgetting Sarah Marshall with a commentary, and then I Love You Man with a commentary. Because at this point, we've all seen both of those movies.
You know what movies?
Like so many times.
Yeah. You know what movie's great with a commentary on though is Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist
Oh.
because they have.
I've only seen that twice.
Dude, they have the director and the two authors who wrote the book, and it's super fun.
Cool.
And I think they also helped adapt it for the screen.
Awesome.
But I've only seen that movie like twice, but I really like it.
Oh, that
soundtrack, killer. Vampire Weekend, end credits.
Oh,
Crushed it.
dude, I have watched that movie so many times, but I've listened. I think it's safe to say I have probably, for every time I've seen that movie, I've listened to that soundtrack 15 times.
Wow.
Like, at least, I'd
That's
say.
banana pants.
I've listened to that soundtrack so many times in my life.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, it's nuts. There were a couple times, like, where I listened to that soundtrack more than once, like, in a day. Yeah. Especially some of, like, the big songs from It That Love, like Silvery Sleds. Ottoman's a great song.
Ottoman's my jam.
Silvery Sleds is like one of my favorites, and Our Swords, and After Hours, Can't Trust Your Stomach. Like, I think, yeah, that whole soundtrack's amazing.
That soundtrack is awesome.
Even like the ones that are like written for like Screw the Man,
Mm.
like even that is super awesome. And Lover.
I wanna be
Your lover. Yeah, it's so good.
I love it.
The Ranger Banhart.
Yeah.
Freaking.
I put that on. I actually put that song on CD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the commentary is how I found out about that awesome factoid about the movie. That I think I told you about this.
Maybe.
So in order to keep the PG-13 rating, they were only allowed to say fuck once, and fuck. I'd say F-U-C-K. Okay, that's the word I'm saying, because we're gonna beat my saying the word fuck out.
This is gonna be a bitch to edit.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so like they did all these different takes of Michael Cera, like because they're like we only have one.
Like be perfect.
They need to have it perfect, and like they just did all these takes of him accidentally deleting that voicemail at the beginning of the movie. Like he's leaving the voice like 15th voicemail, and he like accidentally deletes it, and then they had all these takes of him laying on the bed looking with the phone and going, and like. And like all these different and then like one time like it was one of the last takes and Michael Cera was just like so done doing it. He was just looking up at the phone like this and he's like voicemail deleting. He goes fuck. Just like a singular like
just like the gesture. You know what maybe they just think of?
Yeah.
Lucky number 11. We were all just there.
I think it's on Netflix and Amazon.
Oh, really?
It's definitely on Amazon Instant Video now, and I think it's on Netflix.
That movie is like the most underrated thing.
If you've never seen that movie, shut off this podcast right now.
Go find
it.
11.
Go watch Lucky Number 11. Come back. Okay?
Finish watching it.
Go watch Lucky Number 7. Come back. Okay?
Are we good? You back?
How freaking good was that movie?
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Share, like, subscribe.
Yeah.
Promote that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Tell your friends. Have a book club about that movie. Get together for several weeks after you've seen that movie and talk about things.
All right.
Yeah. And so all the way back to
our original
point about commentary and J.K. Simmons and the Lady Killers.
Okay.
And J.K. Simmons in Burn After Reading also.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Such a small role, but he just absolutely crushes it. Yeah. And then the last rotating one that we gotta talk about is Wes Anderson.
Bill Ghostbusted Ass
Murray.
Woo!
Yeah, he's great.
Bill hits a hallelujah.
What?
Bill
hits a
I don't know.
What's happening?
I just feel like Bill hits a hallelujah and just have a bunch of clips of Bill Murray. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
Bill Murray in Wes Anderson movies.
It's pretty great.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I love him in Darjeeling Limited.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite one. movie.
Yeah, because it's not like a huge role.
Yeah. One of my.
I still haven't seen Moonrise Kingdom yet.
I haven't seen.
That's the only Wes Anderson film I think I've seen.
Oh really?
Oh really?
Oh man.
Oh wow.
No, I think didn't we watch Charlie G. Unlimited in class in high school?
Mr. Chinnero's class?
Yeah, I
Did
think
you not
Mr.
have that
Chinero-
class?
Mr. T made us watch it.
The one
of the
about
classes I
India
took.
and the train with Owen Wilson.
It may have been because he's taught an elective that was like Asian history, so we may have watched it in that class, and I don't know if you were
I
in
don't
that
think
class.
I was there. Yeah, Moonrise Kingdom, great movie.
I gotta see that.
I haven't seen it either.
but-
Ridiculous.
Delightful.
Bill, I mean, Life Aquatic, Bill Murray.
I haven't seen as many Wes Anderson movies now that I'm actually thinking
Yeah.
about it. Like, I need to get on my game with that.
Well, I have. Have you seen The Royal Tenenbaums?
No.
I have it on DVD. We can watch it when we're done filming this podcast. Another great movie to watch with a commentary.
Yeah.
Got the Criterion Collection edition. I got it on a yard sale. Okay, the Criterion Collection DVDs. Surprisingly, something that me and my high school girlfriend had a thing about. Nick's raising his eyebrows. Surprise!
This is me saying nothing.
And we used to go to Movie Stop and spend way too much money on Criterion Collection editions of Wes Anderson movies. And they're just they come in nice cases, like with like hand drawn artwork that's like really beautiful. And they usually have extra content, commentaries and stuff like that. And man, they have I was at a yard sale at my old high school. Like I went to go see a play, and they had like a yard sale going like in the lobby and on the front parking lot of the thing. And then Grammy and I were poking around the yard sale, and we found that UMass leather jacket that you wear. We got that was $5. It was like $5 for that jacket, and then there was like DVDs, $5 a piece. I got the Royal Tenenbaums Criterion Collection. I felt like a thief. I was like, oh my god. I was like, this is $5. They have no idea what they're giving away. Like, I was like, they must have gotten this as a gift. Or forgotten how much they paid for this. And then the other one I got was your boy Ken. Much Ado About Nothing, $5.
I love that movie so much.
Really good. Really good. Kenneth Branagh's. Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, those $15. I got some high quality stuff that day. But Wes Anderson's cast too, like of Jason Schwartzman comes to mind, obviously. But he's also one of
the
those people.
Olsen show up in more than one.
Yeah. They're in Bottle Rocket. Yeah, and yeah. I really like.
I need to spend some more time with the Wes Anderson canon.
Oh yeah, it's super fun. Like it's minimalist and kind of fun. And apparently
funny and depressing and hipster. And
I haven't got around to Grand Budapest yet, just because I've been so broke. Yeah. But the thing about Grand Budapest, I hear for a lot of people is like the most, just like commercially palatable Wes Anderson movie. It's like this. I think some people are saying commercially palatable, but a lot of people are saying though that it's the word they're using to describe it is that it's the most charming Wes Anderson movie they made, which I'm interested in.
Tangent.
Yeah.
Your like Ty Dimple is like on point right now. I just want
Thank
to
you.
throw that out.
Thank you. Ray Fiennes, by the way, is in Grand Budapest, and like he's an interesting actor that's not really in his canon, but I'm glad to see him included in that because he is an amazing actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Grand Budapest, I gotta see.
All right. Any other final words on topics?
I think.
I can't believe we didn't mention Quentin Tarantino.
Oh! How did I forget Quentin Tarantino? I feel like an idiot. I think I thought of him when I was coming up with this topic, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't think to bring him up then. But yeah, Quentin Tarantino does it in a really good way too.
Uma Thurman.
Boom. But he also writes. Like he wrote Samuel L. Jackson's role in Pulp Fiction with Samuel L. Jackson in mind. I think he's one of those people that's pretty good at writing a role with an actor in mind, without writing the character. Because
being too pigeonholed.
Yeah. Right, because like Hans Landa is not the same Christoph Waltz that we get in Django. Like,
oh man,
I haven't seen Django Unchained.
Great movie.
Yeah, we should watch that later too. Other thing, real quick, Christoph Waltz is the new Bond villain, Inspector.
is a game changer.
I just can't even like.
Oh my God.
I remember saying this before Skyfall came out. I was like, oh man, like I was like, who's gonna be the villain? I was like, they should get Christoph Waltz. Oh my god. And then they had they were like, oh, it's Javier Bardem, and I was like, okay, wait a minute. Yes, yes. And then I saw Skyfall, and I was like, this movie's amazing. And then they were like, we're working on the new James Bond movie. I was like, oh, you know what? They should get Christoph Waltz. And then they announced it. They have Christoph Waltz and Batista. Batista.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, the thing about they even said this. They came right out and said this. They're like, we want to like create a franchise villain like we did with like Jaws and stuff that you could like bring back in multiple movies. Yeah, and they want to.
They haven't done that in Bond since like Doctor No.
Well, Doctor No's the first one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the first like 2 or 3 Bond movies have like a kind of over.
With the cat
and whatever.
Blofeld. And but they had Jaws come back in a couple Roger Moore.
Oh, when you said Jaws, I was thinking like there is a reoccurring villain in the Jaws series, and I was like, I'm just gonna go along with it because I've only seen Jaws 1. I've only seen it once.
Yeah, you'd only really need to see.
I know, yeah, I don't think.
But Jaws, like as the Bond,
Jaws.
They brought him in back. They brought him back in a couple different Bond movies, and they were like,
So that's the weird thing. Like, were they all Roger Moore ones that Jaws was in?
Jaws was in. Yeah.
Okay, because it'd be weird if like Jaws shows up in multiple ones, but then it's like now Bond is a different person, but it's the same villain.
Well, I mean, you have the same M. With
that's true. Yeah, I'm Q.
But yeah, so so that's for me. That's interesting.
That's
I think that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
You have a physical badass in Dave Bautista and a maniacal badass in Christoph Waltz, and Bond's really gonna have a challenge. So I'm excited for that.
I'm into it. There's a blue jay out there that's really distracting me.
James Lower got distracted by a blue jay the first time. The first podcast we recorded. I made him watch K-Pax.
Oh, yeah.
Bluebird!
God, that movie's nuts. I haven't seen that since I was a kid either.
Yeah. Yeah, it's even... I forgot, because when I was a kid I didn't realize it, but that's Jeff Bridges. The psychologist is Jeff Bridges, and he's amazing in that movie.
Jeff Bridges. What movie was he not amazing in?
I don't know.
Flop, I don't know.
Jeff Bridges is a baller.
He was okay in Tron Legacy. I mean, Tron Legacy was just okay.
I haven't seen Tron Legacy.
It's alright. Great soundtrack. Okay movie.
Okay.
So Jeff Bridges is also very good in Coen Brothers movies.
Yes, he
Which
is.
brings us back to what we were talking about.
Crushed it.
I was a little late on the cloud.
That's
Sorry.
cool.
You want to do it one more time?
Okay. Crushed it!
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, I think that thoroughly kind of ties up the topic of.
I'm team roster.
Oh yeah, we all think it can be it can be well done.
Yeah.
Do you?
I think it's more well done than it is not well done.
More often.
More often
done well.
Done well. There we go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.